Since the beginning of civilization, humans have sought to understand both the divine and physical worlds. And as time has passed, two threads of thought have evolved: spirituality and science. But as science delves further into the unknown, we find that science merges with God, the Absolute. As this merging occurs, we find that science is proving positive many of the concepts written in the world's great scriptures. In recent years, as the spiritual elevation of the earth has been increasing, scientists have spent more time researching the aspects of science which are closely aligned with the divine. And as a result, scientists have made some amazing discoveries, such as one particle existing simultaneously in two places, the third eye, the aura, the power of prayer, and the zero-point field, which contains infinite energy. It seems we have reached the golden age where science and spirituality walk together, hand in hand. This scientific revolution is of great importance because as humans become more scientifically advanced, they will require great wisdom in order to use their technology for peaceful and constructive means. And with spiritual wisdom combined with our scientific knowledge, they possess the tools to transform the world into a paradise for everyone to enjoy.
Hello, I'm Dr. Peter Mensch, and you are watching Supreme Master Television Science and Spirituality. Last week, on our program, we began to take a look at what condition it would take to allow life to thrive on this spacecraft called the Earth. And in order to do that, we look at our planet in the bigger picture of the solar system. An amazing set of circumstances, both inside and outside the Earth, go together to provide just the right environment for life to thrive on Earth. As scientists learn more about our world and its unique place in the cosmos, they recognize how extraordinarily lucky we are to be alive. But the conditions for life are precariously balanced, and we must use our knowledge to maintain the delicate nature balance as best as we can. The Earth is like a blue spacecraft journeying through space. Like other spaceships, the Earth carries everything that is needed for the life of its crew. All exchanges occur only within this spacecraft, with no matter coming in from outside. That's why we must be conscientious about the precious material resources contained within our spacecraft. There is a plentiful but fixed amount of water that is available on this planet. Plants produce oxygen for us to breathe by taking away carbon dioxide from our atmosphere, which we and our cohabiting animals produce. The same air and water have been used for millions of years on this beautiful planet of ours. and it would be wonderful for us to have clean air and water for many more years to come. As the sages have said, it is always good to cherish what you have. The earth and all the life it sustains are truly unique. There are many factors that contribute to supporting life on Earth. The composition of the Earth's atmosphere is one of them. The composition of the Earth's atmosphere has determined what kind of life forms could appear on the planet. The ratio of oxygen to nitrogen to carbon dioxide and other gases is very important for stability of the temperature on Earth. And it is a stable, moderate temperature that has allowed a protein-based life to develop on our planet. This is related to the climate change and the latest warning of global warming on Earth. If the conditions of temperature, pressure, atmosphere, and chemical composition were different in the past, we could have life, for example, based on silicon, not based on carbon as it is now. For many years, it was believed that all living or organic beings were based on carbon and needed light. But 5 years ago, scientists discovered a new form of life on Earth called archaeons. Archaeons are microorganisms surviving at high temperature, even above 100 centigrade. They feed themselves with hydrogen, carbon dioxide, or sulfur, and do not need any light or organic substances to sustain their life. There are actually many species of this sort on Earth. But a stable temperature in the atmosphere is not the only thing needed to make a planet as alive and beautiful as ours. When we come back, we'll find out what other ingredients are necessary in creating the delightful planet we enjoy today.
We'll be right back after this brief message.
Welcome back to Science and Spirituality.
our last edition, we talked about sun and the very special role it has in making life on Earth possible. As a giver of light, heat, and food for all of us on the Earth, the sun is a giant energy-generating friend of the Earth. The sun even protects the entire solar system, including the Earth, from radiation from the universe called cosmic radiation. It does this by sending out a powerful stream of electrons and protons. This powerful stream of energy is often called the solar wind. This wind extends to the far reaches of our solar system and comprises a protective cocoon known as the heliosphere. It is called a cocoon because at the edge of the heliosphere, the particles of the solar wind perform a very important life-preserving function. They intercept extremely energetic cosmic radiation moving at nearly the speed of light, thus protecting all the planets like the strong arms of a protective father. So the sun not only supplies the energy necessary for life, but also protects us from radiation that exists throughout the outer universe. But there is more to the story about the sun and the Earth. The solar wind is so powerful that although it is not as strong as cosmic radiation, it would actually be detrimental to life. That is, if it ever fully reaches the surface of the Earth. Fortunately, our planet is surrounded by two belts of ionizing radiation called the Van Allen belts, which protect us from the effects of solar particle radiation. The Van Allen belts consist of charged particles originating from the solar wind. The inner belt mostly of protons and the outer belt mostly of electrons. These particles of the solar wind are trapped by the Earth's magnetic field in the oscillatory dance between the Earth's magnetic poles. Directly above the poles, the particles which comprises the Van Allen belts are not present. Because of their absence, the solar wind can slightly enter our atmosphere in the polar regions. This phenomena can be seen in the beautiful aurora borealis or northern and southern lights. So Earth's magnetic field protects us from solar wind, and the solar wind, in turn, protects our entire solar system from high-energy cosmic rays. What a beautiful arrangement that God has created here. When we come back, we will find out more about the Earth's magnetic field.
We'll be right back after this brief message.
Welcome back to Science and Spirituality.
Welcome back to Science and Spirituality. The magnetism of the Earth has fascinated scientists for many years. Its presence was known from the ancient times, at least in China, but until today we are not certain of its origin. The most popular view is that inside the hot core of the Earth there are electric currents. Thus, the Earth behaves as though it is a living being that is constantly breathing. Melted iron and nickel constitute its core, and the flow of these molten elements generates a vast magnetic field which wraps the Earth. As long as this core matter is in a perpetual movement, the magnetic poles are constantly shifting too. Scientists studied a volcanic lava which erupted millions of years ago and cooled down at the bottom of the sea. From this lava, they discovered that every few 100,000 years the magnetic field direction is inverted. That is, the north magnetic pole becomes south and vice versa. Paleontologists also discovered that the life and climate was changed with these inversions. Thus, the role of magnetic field is very important. Magnetic field produces an umbrella against charged particles of solar wind, whose radiation can change our environment significantly, which has happened many times in the history of Earth. The analysis of the data of two satellites, Ørsted, launched in 1999, and MAXET, launched 20 years earlier, confirms that the Earth's magnetic field is subject to essential variations. It is not known currently whether this is a temporary effect or it is a precursor of a longer-lasting event, but scientists are keeping a close eye on it to learn more about this fascinating and important for our life phenomenon. In addition, scientists watch for the small possibility of the collision with some other objects such as asteroids or comets. They can be as small as a few meters and as big as a few kilometers. Astronauts advise to use a spaceship as a gravitational tractor or a preventive explosion to change the course of the asteroid and prevent it from approaching the Earth ahead of time. A collision would affect Earth's climate and atmosphere and initiate vast ecological and evolutionary changes. Usually, the probability of such collision is vastly reduced, thanks to the massive Jupiter, which produces a huge attractive gravitational field. It takes the heat instead of our Earth, like in the case of comet Shoemaker-Levy collisions in 1995. Thus, once again, by God's arrangements, we are lucky to have a stronger and good friend nearby to protect us, planet Jupiter. So, whether it is due to magnetic field changes, or asteroid collisions, we should not be afraid of changes in environmental conditions on our planet, but use our wisdom to face them. In the history of our planet, such changes of the life conditions have taken place. They caused animal species that were shadowed by others to revive. Such was the case with mammals who were shadowed by dinosaurs and other reptiles in the Jurassic period. The mechanism is similar to the state of perfectly adjusted focus camera, while any small touch of it or change in the surrounding conditions can only make things worse. So those who get too comfortable and too focused in indulging in the existing environmental conditions may only lose, while those species able to adjust to the rapid changes in the environmental life conditions can gain. Thus, the lesson for us from this is that the conditions on this earth are not meant to be made steady and ideal or automatically adjusted for humans. We should ask ourselves how we can adjust to the existing environment, not how to adjust this environment to our needs. This is a law of the universe to which we must comply. For example, when we cut a lot of trees for our inflated needs, we consequently and detrimentally reduce the oxygen to carbon dioxide ratio in our atmosphere. But on the other hand, when we conduct underwater works, we have cleverly adjusted to a new environment by using an oxygen-helium mixture to breathe and talk at the same time. So we should continue to use our ingenuity and wisdom to adjust to the existing environmental conditions, not vice versa. Life on Earth is truly the very special result of unique circumstances around us. In our program, we had a chance to mention only a few of these beautiful phenomena, and weaved together they have all contributed to the development of life on our planet. Such a wonderful sheltered planet and hospitable environment deserves our reverence and protection. After all, the Earth sustains us and our planet and animal friends and countless other forms of life. If we use the Earth's resources with great wisdom and employ scientific knowledge and technology with compassion, we can make our magnificent planet last for ourselves and future generations, and our inhabitants of different species. After all, God creates all things in richness and diversity, and there isn't another spacecraft out there exactly like our beautiful planet Earth. Right now, let us listen to some of the great spiritual teaching of Supreme Master Ching Hai as beautifully expressed here.
Our life, our time here is very short. We have to make best use of it. Don't ask people to serve us. We have to ask, how can we serve people? Yes, all the time, and you never go wrong. What do we need that people have to serve us? We don't need anything. Huh? We have enough clothes, enough food, and that's all. And the rest of the time we have to develop ourselves spiritually. And then we have to use our spare times to serve the world, both inside and outside. Inside we use our wisdom, our good vibration, our virtues to bless the people and the environment. Outside, we use our time, our physical fitness, our cleverness, our talents to help wherever and whenever we can. If we do this wholeheartedly, we always feel fulfilled, satisfied, and we will never ask for anything. And we feel always enough. If we keep demanding people to serve us, we will be always in misery, always disappointed, always have trouble. We provide for the people, and God will provide for us. That is the way of working in the universe. If everyone works like that, the system of the world will run very smoothly, and no one is ever lack of anything.
I'm Dr. Peter Mensch, and this was another edition of Science and Spirituality. We will see you again next time. Until then, stay tuned for more positive programming on Supreme Master Television. So long for now, and God bless.